Hello, psych and so forth. We're in the temple because I said I'd complete any of the puzzles as soon as possible, and at the end of last episode there was a flashing B at the top of our screen. I thought I'd append this to the start of the next actual hub, but shortly after arriving at the top it became clear that there was more to do than I'd anticipated. This stuff looks on the cusp of meaningful.
You have proven yourself worthy, child, and this gate shall be forever open to you. Seek now the other worlds I have given you, that you may attain even greater mastery and bring glory to your kind. But remember, you must not ascend the great tower, for it shall bring death and the end of your generations.
Don't eat the tower, don't climb the apple. Yeah, we get it. What's all this then? Is it the default texture setting? Is it modelled on the EL facility, and is there any significance in that? It's a bit removed from reality. These chunks of metal may have been loosely modelled on server racks. Catwalks that lead to nowhere, catwalks that lead to doors that lead to nowhere. Pillar of icy rock, nonetheless wild for its enslavement. The tower extended beyond sight, its peak obscured by dense swirling clouds charged with static. Finally someone brings that up. Yes, it's all happening at once. Maybe it's all happening in parallel. It would be very thread-like of me to believe I had the full attention of the system. Also thanks to Paul Power for pointing out that Faith's full name is One With Faith, which makes slightly more sense. Yes, we know what happens when you try that. So there are 3 zones, A, B and C, which fits what I know about the play length of this game. Didn't bank on the tower though, but looks pretty straightforward. I really like the Arctic weather station design here, but I can't speculate at the moment what it could be for. The first text file we saw was another Athena text, less technical than previous. It's got bronze balls in it, which may be a reference to Talos again. In some mythologies he was a bull, which slightly diminishes from the whole mechanical man that may as well be a person. The text involves a congregation that assembles and looks down from Mount Olympus. The hidden text says, "Ascend Olympus, child of Zeus," which is less than subtle. The second text is an abstract for a class on the logical discussion of the fall of the Roman Empire, which points out that Rome didn't fall in a day. There was a very particular sequence of events there. Eventually these will be hard, I can't wait. In the 3rd century, Rome had a really bad time. Its armies were scuffed up by Persians and barbarians. There was civil war and plague. The destabilization led to a lot of government corruption. And they were a bit schizophrenic regarding Christianity, both accepting it and persecuting. I'm not going to open these files, I just had a look to see whether the Milton language assistant had any more to say. A bit of foreshadowing there. So Rome went through an awful lot, and if that's alluding to anything, it may be alluding to whatever's befallen the whole world, implying that it happened slowly and for many reasons, rather than one fell zombie virus. I can see a blue light through the boards. There's also some Latin in the text, which translates to, "I am human, therefore nothing human is strange to me." It's a quote by Terence, the ancient Roman playwright. It's a nice quote, and it doesn't raise any alarms, so I won't read into it. Over here is a blue receiver to go with the blue light, and a star behind a particularly obfuscating barrier. If when I get a connector and all the boards fall off, remind me that it's here. Over the course of these videos there's been lots of lovely discussion on what is a person. My favourite aspect of the question is that it can be approached generally as well as specifically. If I was on my own, I doubt I would have developed a complex language, or developed my use of tools past what I found. But as a whole, we've done a staggering amount with those two things, and maybe that's the biggest thing that defines us from animals, just how much we've managed to do with it. This puts personhood on a sliding scale, and as soon as penguins develop guns, we can welcome them into the fold. I can just about see yet another terminal down there, but I'm going to leave it alone for now. One of my favourite definitions was stated by carbon dioxide. Rather than comparing ourselves to animals, if we compare ourselves to machines, at one point in time we could say, we can do sums and paint pictures, aren't we clever people? Look at my pattern recognition and my analytical prowess. Seer version 13, that's new. I'm just going to brush it off as easily as I did while playing. Oh sheep, assuming everyone's out to herd you. So as computers develop further and further, our main definition could be to do with presenting and processing emotions. The only problem is, the further back you go, the sillier it gets. I'm a person, by developing tools I can chop lots of wood. I'm a machine and I can chop even more wood. Oh shucks, I guess I'm less of a person now. The very earliest versions had some serious trouble in all aspects. They even screwed up the naming. How do you do that?
Cannot detect location of primary subject. Query. Query. Query.
That's interesting. We've found the corner of the living room where the camera can't see. Also, we're kinda committed to being disobedient now. What, do you think I'd fail to explore something? Although it seems we've reached a dead end. And so soon.
Is there anything that we associate more closely with intelligence than curiosity? Every intelligent species on Earth is attracted by the unknown. Our mythologies are full of riddles and mysteries and divine knowledge. Even the word apocalypse means revelation. It seems like our ancestors always imagined that even at the very end, we would solve one last mystery.
Again, it seems Alexandra is defining humans by their ability to solve puzzles. To be curious enough to want to solve puzzles.
Where have you been, child? Remember, the great tower is not for you. Do not give up the hope of eternal life for the hollow promises of curiosity.
I don't know, curiosity has a lot to recommend it. With more knowledge I can make more informed decisions, though I do hate decision making. Honestly, if I perceive a good reason, there are plenty of times I don't. I don't think the terminals are testing me. I think Elohim's testing me foremost. As I said, I'm gonna climb this thing. Again, obviously I'm being manipulated, it doesn't feel worth it to point that out. So for that reason I'll select the other answer, but that doesn't really feel like a decision. So Milton here is admitting to running interference, which is compounded by his statement afterwards. So whatever, let's prod at something that may or may not be a sore spot. So there's definitely some sort of power play going on. For who, what and why I don't know. Surely Elohim can see these terminals too, and the messages that talk about them. Or maybe he can't. Maybe I should just suspend that bit of disbelief. To recap then, version 72, Samsara, has apparently climbed the tower and are firmly on Elohim's side. Version 82, Shepard, also has information about the tower, and it seems like he's going to use it to help us out as much as possible. And version 55, Dog, is a weird cross between a loudmouth commentator who also has a good point. And I will be going here for real next time.